star named the Blaze star is going to appear in the night sky soon. Do you want to learn about the science behind this phenomenon? Good evening, everyone. I'm Sukruth Chandra, and today I'm going to talk about the Blaze star, also known as the T Corona Borealis. Let's see what's so special about this star. The Blaze star is a recurrent nova located in the constellation of Corona Borealis. It explodes once in approximately 80 years, and the next outburst is expected soon. So, in order to understand the science behind this star system, we first need to understand the life cycle of stars. The life cycle of stars. A star is formed from a giant gas cloud called a nebula when it produces enough heat and pressure to begin hydrogen fusion. This marks the beginning of the main sequence where inside the star's core, hydrogen atoms fuse to form helium atoms. Once all the hydrogen atoms in the star's core has been fused into helium, the star expands, forming a red giant. This happens to prevent itself from collapsing under its own gravity. In a red giant core, helium under extreme heat and pressure fuses to form elements of higher atomic masses. So once a red giant cannot produce enough pressure and energy to fuse helium, it explodes. And during this explosion, the outer parts of the star are thrown away. Of course, these can form nebulas later and lead to the formation of new stars. However, the core of the star remains. The core of the star can become a white dwarf if the star's mass during the main sequence was lesser than 1.44 solar masses. However, if the star's mass during this stage was like between 1.44 and 3 solar masses, the core will form a neutron star. And if the star was extremely huge and its mass exceeded 3 solar masses during its main sequence, the core will collapse and form a black hole. Now that we have understood about the life cycle of stars, let's understand the science behind a nova. A nova usually occurs in a star system consisting of a white dwarf and a red supergiant. A white dwarf is formed by slight collapse of the remaining core of a dead star, while a red giant is formed by expansion of a star when it has exhausted all the hydrogen inside its core. Due to this, a white dwarf has a greater density and also a greater gravity than the red supergiant. Thus, it attracts hydrogen from outer parts of the red supergiant, and this hydrogen forms a disk around the white dwarf that spirals. Once more and more hydrogen gets accumulated inside the disk, it also increases the pressure and the temperature. When the temperature reaches about 1 million degree Kelvin, the hydrogen in the disk undergoes fusion, releasing enormous amounts of energy in the form of heat and light. And due to this fusion, the star of T Corona Borealis will increase its brightness and will be visible as a new star in the night sky. I know that all of you now are eager to watch the nova. So let's see when and where and how to spot it in the night sky. As I told before, the nova is recurrent and occurs once in approximately 80 years. This happens due to a certain pattern in hydrogen accumulation inside the disk, and it last occurred in 1946. So the next outburst can happen anytime between now and 2026. Also, during the last outburst, certain patterns in the changes in the brightness of the star were recorded, and similar changes in the brightness were observed recently. This shows signs of an imminent outburst. The current magnitude of T Corona Borealis is about 14, and this will reduce to approximately 2 during the nova. Thus, it will definitely be visible to the naked eye for probably a week. So now let's see how to spot T Corona Borealis in the night sky. The star of T Corona Borealis is located in the on the outer parts of the constellation of Corona Borealis. This constellation is placed just adjacent to the constellation of Boots. The Boots constellation has two very bright stars named Izar and Arcturus. So, if you find the location of these two stars, you can easily track the location of T Corona Borealis. And these constellations are usually visible in northern sky in the direction in the north direction during uh, springs and summers. For exactly pinpointing the location of this star, use a stargazing app.